right, let's talk Las Vegas Raiders. Got some great Raiders news for you guys. Of course, this is a Raiders team that's looking to build off of a strong finish to last year, really solid offseason. But it's really important when you're trying to build off a season that ended the way it did with a lot of momentum, a lot of energy, that your young guys continue to build off of that momentum and continue to get better and better. That's why it's such good news that the Raiders coaching staff is really high on future star Malcolm Koonce and all the progress he has made this offseason. Let's get into this report, then we'll talk about it more on the other side. This is courtesy of Raiders Today. Last season, as he entered his third season in the National Football League, defensive end Malcolm Koonce needed to prove the Raiders made the right move in selecting him out of Buffalo years prior. While unquestionably talented, Koonce had yet to fully develop into a dependable player for the Silver and Black. Raiders defensive line coach Rob Leonard said Koonce has taken the offseason to get even better as he looks to build upon a successful second half of last season. He's grown tremendously. I think just the results were, I know everyone talks about that last 8 games, but I mean, he was winning a lot of rushes early just without the result. Leonard said last week, we try to stay away from focusing on the result of the sack. Christian Wilkins could get a good middle push, and the quarterback flush out the back. And 9, Tyree Wilson gets a sack. So really focusing on the process of winning each rush. And then it was fun to see it click for him. And he has that personality when he starts headbutting, he starts getting all juiced up. 98, Max Crosby always brings the juice when he gets it going. Then he really affects the whole unit. He's just fun. He's a great personality, always smiling, easy to talk to, a man of few words, but he's awesome. All right, we all know Malcolm Koonce had a really strong finish to last year. I think the key point here is that so far this offseason, Koonce is not resting on his laurels. He is building off of his success, and the Raiders coaches are impressed by that. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, but first, Raiders fans, in the comment section below, we're talking edge rushers, we're talking edge defenders. So give us the greatest edge defender in Raiders history. This is a really hard question. There's probably like 20 names that could potentially be at the top of the list, but you can only pick one. Give us the greatest edge defender in Raiders history and put it in the comment section below. And while you're down there in the comment section below, make sure you go to the description to check out our list of recommended books, some great summer reading in the NFL sphere, so that way you can be the smartest person in the comment section below. We've got great stuff, including a Madden biography that we recommend. Make sure you check it out. But all right, Miles, let me throw it back over to you. What are your thoughts on the Raiders and Malcolm Koonce here?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is really great news. Like, we all saw the second half of last season for Koonce. Heck, we even did a film review on Malcolm Koonce, highlighting some of his greatness last year, so go check that out. But I think when you say he had a good second half of the season, it's kind of underselling. And when you look at his first half of the season as well, you can kind of see exactly what the coach was talking about, where he said he was winning a lot, he just wasn't finishing. He was doing well, he just wasn't getting the end result like he did at the second half of the season. So when you look at the first half of his season versus second half of the season, you look first half of the season, weeks 9 through week 1, his highest overall grade for defense on PFF is a 74, which is decent, not too bad. Lowest grade in the 50s, 51 to be exact. So not what you would expect. And he only got a 74 grade or 70 or above, really, even one time in those first 9 weeks. On top of that, you can see when he wasn't finishing stuff, he had a tackling grade below 30 5 separate times as well. So he wasn't finishing, he was missing tackles. There's a lot of stuff going on that he wasn't capitalizing. Counter that to the next 9 weeks, weeks 10 through 18, Koonce's highest grade was a 91 per PFF. And he did that 3 separate times: 91, 91.4, 91.6. He had a below 30 tackling grade just one time in those 9 games. So you can see he really turned it on and really started to put things together. I think he is absolutely getting it together. And the fact that he had a great ending to last season, then built on that in the offseason, I think this is really, really promising for Koonce because he was looking really strong. He was looking like, the next guy to come up beside Max Crosby and be, that next dynamic duo of pass rushers for a team. We know teams that have those are always really strong. You think of the Steelers with TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. But now I think when we hear this offseason news, I'm even more excited to see what Malcolm Koonce is able to do this coming season.
It's interesting you bring up duos because PFF, they dug into the analytics and they recently came up with their list of best pass rushing duos in the NFL. And number one at the top of that list was the Dallas Cowboys with Micah Parsons and Demarcus Lawrence. Micah Parsons, I think Max Crosby, similar kind of player. So the Raiders theoretically just need a second tier pass rusher on the level of Demarcus Lawrence. If you look at Koonce's statistics, he finished 31st in pass rush win rate and 22nd overall in pass rush grade. That is right around the same level as Demarcus Lawrence. Now, look, Lawrence has played a lot longer. Koonce had kind of a really strong finish to the season. We'd love to see more out of Koonce. It looks like he's doing everything to make sure he builds off of that success. But the reality is, people hype Micah Parsons, people hype the Dallas Cowboys defense, pass rush wise, and rightly so. Great duo there. The Raiders have a chance here, and I truly believe this based on Koonce's growth and development, to be just as good, if not even better, because if you factor in Christian Wilkins on the inside, we're not talking about a good pass rush. We're not talking about a great pass rush. We're talking about the best pass rush in football coming out of Las Vegas in 2024. And look, I know there's a lot of questions about the quarterback position, Aiden O'Connell, right? What's going to work? New offensive coordinator, a lot of new additions there. What's going to go on at the tight end position? A lot of great receivers trying to factor everything in. Got it, right. That's going to be really important. But honestly, if you look at the Raiders, especially early on in the season, with this pass rush, they can wait a little bit for their offense to figure things out because they will be getting after people early in the season. Max Crosby, we know is a star. Christian Wilkins, we know is a star. But I think the emergence of Koonce showing up as another breakout player for this Raiders team, I think is going to surprise a lot of people. I think the Raiders have another Pro Bowler edge rusher on their hands right here.